Marianne Williamson's campaign is completely collapsing. And this is one of many reasons why, over the last year, I've stressed quite a bit, or I should say, I stressed a lot. I have stressed a lot on the importance of local politics and focusing on taking control of our local politics in our respective cities, counties, wards, and states, because it is significantly easier to raise up local grassroots candidates and raise money for them to get them into local office than it is for us to be able to count on and properly steer in the right direction those that are running for president of the United States, right? Oftentimes, when it comes to the presidency, those who rise up as someone, whether they be man or woman, who may possibly be a potential candidate of interest that Black Americans should look into as it pertains to them possibly having concrete transformative legislation that's for Black Americans or by way of supporting reparations. Many times, what we'll see is that things either end up getting silly very quickly. The candidates turn out to look and become very unserious, or they just turn out to become a big disappointment, to say the very least. Last night, I did a stream on Cornell West, and I was extremely disappointed with what I had to reveal concerning his lack of a Black agenda on his political campaign website, and when he was on Fox News, asked a very direct question concerning the impact of illegal immigration on the Black community, he was unwilling to tell the truth about it. He spoke in circles. I could say a lot more, but I'll leave that there concerning my disappointment with Cornell West. But then we move over to Marianne Williamson, who many of us have entertained and were willing to consider solely off of the strength that she says she supports reparations. She does have it on her political campaign website. So, off the strength of that alone, many of us were and are willing to at least consider her. But she's also someone as well that when you sit and you listen to her speak, things just get silly very quickly. She starts talking about the moons, the stars, and the chakras, and how we need love to heal the nation through our soul. And we have to collect the 7 Dragon Balls so that we can summon Shenron and make our 3 wishes and things of that nature, right? It just gets foolish very quickly. And then as things move along, as we've seen, or as we are currently seeing right now with the article that's in front of you, her campaign is completely unraveling right in front of our very eyes. And the real presidential race hasn't even gotten started yet. It hasn't even gotten started yet. And things are already falling apart. So, to get into more detail on that, I'm going to read some of this article here from Politico titled Marianne Williamson Loses Second Campaign Manager in 2 months, right? So, let's get into it. Marianne Williamson has lost her second campaign manager in as many months in what has proven to be a rocky 2024 presidential bid. Rosa Calderon's departure was announced Monday on a small far left podcast, The Vanguard, and independently confirmed by 2 sources to Politico, granted anonymity to discuss internal staffing dynamics. One person familiar with the campaign said that Calderon quit. She tried to right the ship and lead this campaign. Marianne knocked her down every chance she got, the person said. Calderon was first hired as a fundraiser for Williamson's campaign in late April and then took on the job in May after then interim campaign manager Peter Dow stepped down along with deputy campaign manager Jason Call. Calderon's experience in such roles was limited. She ran for Congress in 2018 but lost. During that campaign, she was sentenced to probation after allegedly stealing money from a local Democratic Party group to spend on gas, movie downloads, and Bottle Rock Music Festival tickets. My God. She had also embellished her resume, calling herself a director of development when she was, in fact, a contractor at a progressive nonprofit, Our Revolution. Williamson, the campaign press secretary, and Calderon did not respond to a request for comment. Williamson is running on a long shot campaign in the Democratic primary, her third bid for public office since 2014, and hit a polling high of 9% in a Fox News Democratic primary poll. But since the campaign launched in March, staff have been fleeing the team. There have been at least 7 departures in the last month. The campaign raised less than $1 million in the first quarter of 2023, and it is not running any broadcast advertising. Williamson hasn't been on the campaign trail for the last several weeks. Instead, she has been doing virtual events so she could be in London for the birth of her first grandchild. She has been hosting online roundtables, which she calls firelight chats, but has not traveled to any of the early voting states in April. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I think it is more than safe to say that Marianne Williamson's campaign is dead. I know it's very early on. I know a lot of us, some of us, had high hopes and wishes that maybe she was someone we can get behind because she actually supports reparations publicly. But the reality is that her campaign is completely falling apart. It doesn't appear that even in her third go around, she really knows much of what she's doing. It doesn't appear that she's learned much. Granted that this is her third go around. And like I said, in general, when you listen to any interview with Marianne Williamson speaking on America and society and social issues, everything in a very silly fashion comes back to love and all types of metaphysical talk about the soul and the spirit, and things like that are okay in just general conversation. Stuff like that is cool if it's just a general basic interview and I'm just getting your perspective. But when we're talking about you running for president, I just need a straightforward answer. And the same thing goes for Cornel West as well. And it's one of the things that I'm starting to notice is aggravating a lot of people in general conversation, in a general, just typical interview where you're listening to Cornel West speak on the world, America, society, and social issues. A lot of the over explaining that he does is cool and is entertaining and worth listening to, depending on if that's the kind of stuff you like listening to, is cool. But when you're running for office and I'm asking you a simple question like, hey, Cornell, what time is it? And you start talking to me about blues and jazz and Miles Davis and somehow tying that into Martin Luther King, that's just going to make people check out. I just need a simple answer. I asked you what time it is. Brother, just tell me what the time is. I don't need to know about Miles Davis, the blues and jazz and mother this and all this other type of stuff and brother Trump, brother DeSantis and come on now. Come on. And in closing, like I stated at the beginning of this video, this is why I have stressed heavily on the importance of local politics and taking care of our own backyards. I really believe that that's the way. We have to take care of our own backyards, and that's where we need to start by way of local politics. So with all that being said, that does it for today's video. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. All social media links will be pinned in the comment section below. I also have a Telegram group now, so if you have Telegram, make sure to hit the link in the description box below as well as pinned in the comment section to join my Telegram group. And also, please make sure you text TD Hip Hop to number 33222. That's TD Hip Hop to number 33222. That way you'll get a text notification whenever I release a new video, but it also serves as an insurance plan for myself. So in case YouTube ever gives me the axe, I'll be able to send you a direct link to where you can find me next. And last but certainly not least, for those of you who have a love and appreciation for the work that I put in on this channel, the number one way you can show your support is through Patreon. For only $3 a month, that will help put me in position to take TD Hip Hop Media off of YouTube. Remember, the goal is not to grow big on YouTube, but to grow independent of YouTube. And for those of you who have issues with joining Patreon, you can also hit the join button that's next to the subscribe button, and that way way you can become an official channel member for as little as $3 a month as well. And lastly, if you haven't already, please make sure you join the emailing list. There is no way that I can go independent of YouTube if I cannot take the audience with me. And the link to that will be pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you for your time, and until the next video, peace.